distinguished guests, representatives from the private sector, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon to you all. At the outset, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me here to speak on this topic. But before I start, in the month of August, I would like to remember and pay my respect to our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and his family members who were brutally assassinated in 1975. May Allah grant them Jannatul Firdaus. I also pray and remember the valiant freedom fighters, the contribution of whom we are here standing in a free Bangladesh. Distinguished guests, as we are all aware that Bangladesh has emerged as a development role model for many LDCs, least developed countries in recent years. With consistent macroeconomic performance, Bangladesh is set to graduate into a developing economy by 2026, followed by a knowledge-based, smart, developed nation by 2041. But when we talk about the progress of Bangladesh, we cannot but overlook the contribution of our small and medium enterprises to the economy of Bangladesh since its independence. In this progressive journey, CMSMEs, as we popularly call them, has been emerged as the engine of economic growth by contributing the largest share of employment and value addition to the industry. In Bangladesh, CMSMEs contribute about 25% to the GDP, 45% to the manufacturing value addition, and account for 90% of the private sector enterprises. Thus, we do not need to repeat that CMSMEs are significantly contributing to new entrepreneurship, poverty alleviation, improved standard of living, and most importantly, that has become very important, more so in recent times, is to support the backward linkage industry of many large industries in Bangladesh. But despite having a lot of potential, the contribution of CMSMEs to the GDP is still lower than many other economies, which like China, where the contribution is 60%, 30% in India, 52% in Sri Lanka, and 52% also in Japan. CMSMEs in Bangladesh are facing wide-ranging challenges, including low financing, limited technology capacity, lack of infrastructure, as you can see, lack of digital engagement and infrastructure as well, and a lot of other factors that will hold the desired development of CMSMEs. I think against this backdrop, ladies and gentlemen, developing fintech solutions may help in addressing some of the challenges that these SMEs face. And I had a detailed presentation, but since I was supposed to speak at 12:30, I have another meeting which I have to leave by 1:30. I'm going to go straight to the challenges. So if you go straight to the challenges, please skip the other slides. When I say challenges, actually, let me start with the potential benefits, and then I will go for challenges. Now, what are the potential benefits of fintech for CMSMEs? And I was having a discussion because, as you know, the Dhaka Chamber is one of the largest trade organizations of Bangladesh. And initially, it started off for catering the interest of CMSMEs, which is the lifeline of our economy. And I invited a lot of small, medium enterprises from my members randomly to come and join me today, and they're all sitting there across the table. And before I came up to the stage, I was asking them different questions about how fintech may be beneficial for them, what are the challenges they think that fintech would bring. So they gave me some good pointers, which I would like to share with you. And perhaps someone who's taking notes or who's going to follow this up with the government may point this out at a later stage. I think let us talk about the benefits. Benefits I think, primarily relates to accounts keeping for small and medium enterprises. It will certainly enhance the efficiency of the CMSMEs if the credit and fund management happens in a real-time record of transactions, which is nothing new. So spot transaction recording, which is only possible digitally, will definitely give them the real-time picture as to how the business is running. Cost and time-efficient account management, needless to say, that most of these small enterprises are traditionally using those vellum books and those physical papers to keep their accounts, and replacing them with digital devices or records will certainly reduce their time and thereby increase their efficiency. Now, we have seen that how important accounts is for all businesses. Accounts for small and medium enterprises, I would say, is even more important because they do not have the sufficient manpower. So the person who is actually selling their products or services on a first-year basis is also going back behind the till and keeping a record of how much money they're making on their transactions. Now, one thing that we've learned from this Bongo Bazaar fire tragedy, we've seen that when all over the news, there was a lot of shopkeepers and traders who were literally crying and in tears, saying that, oh, we have lost so much money overnight because we had so much money left in the till. Now, that is very unfortunate because as we know that many of these small traders trade in cash, and that exposes them to a lot of liability, like the one that we experienced. No one would ever think that natural disasters would affect their hard cash like this. It's only, at least I didn't think, I shouldn't say no one, but at least in my head, I never thought, unless I thought from that angle, that if I keep money in my till and it accumulates over a period of time, then it can actually be zero or actually can disappear overnight if there's an earthquake or if there's a fire. And I don't leave it behind for my children or my heirs or for the business for that matter. And this brings me to one of the main benefits of Fintech, implementing Fintech in the business model. One of my members were saying that they have safety of moving money. When they're moving money between their shops and banks or their shops and their houses, on average, a small enterprise can handle cash up to 10 to 20 lakhs, if not more. So this amount of money is being moved physically. So this sort of challenges we need to address. And obviously, when there is a proper system in place for all businesses for managing their money or transacting in a digital way where there is a record, that gives them more a systematic approach, I think, for the small enterprises. So these are the potential benefits of Fintech for SMEs. And two most important benefits when I advise small companies and startups, they need easy access to finance. And whenever they need easy access to finance, there is a heavy due diligence on their company. So if a small to medium enterprise wants an investor to invest in their company, they would need to convince the investor that their books and records are all up to date. And there's nothing more appealing to an investor, whether it is a local investor or foreign investor, than to go through a systematic book of accounts or a digital record where an investor can easily see that what is the current situation of a particular company. And that applies equally to banks as well. I'm sure there are many bankers here. I've seen they've spent a lot of amount of time and money going through the accounts and going through their due diligence process to see that they have a transparent bookkeeping process. and what is their expenses and how this is going to be done. So adopting fintech will certainly be beneficial for the CMSMEs. However, there will be challenges, and naturally the challenges are very important because unless the CMSMEs, which forms a great part of Bangladesh economy, come forward to using this fintech and is comfortable with the idea of using this fintech, then it will not flourish as we expect in Bangladesh. So the first challenge relates to insufficient technical know-how and fintech skills. Most of these small to medium enterprises are still learning as to what fintech is. Actually, forget most of these small medium enterprises. When I was invited to speak at the event, for me fintech only meant Bikash, Nogod and the mobile financial services. So I had to educate myself and spend about half an hour learning what fintech is myself. And then I thought that, okay, fine, if that is my situation, then perhaps there's many others like me. So we need to increase our awareness training with fintech. Unless all these small enterprises are comfortable with the idea, they will not come forward to use them. Poor fintech ecosystem in the small and medium enterprises is very common because nationally our digital infrastructure, although it is being developed, is not really up to the mark yet. There's a lot of work to be done to enhance the digital infrastructure all over Bangladesh. Then there is a certain cost element that is required for them to learn more about fintech. Now, low investment, which we have said, to support, develop, and disseminate fintech tools. Now, we all know that mobile financial services have kicked off really well in Bangladesh, but a lot of people need to still have confidence in this system, in the fintech system. One of our members was saying that how safe is our money? And when we are transacting in this fintech model, if we transact through banks, then obviously we know that Bangladesh Bank will be looking after and governing this. But if we transact through other mobile financial services, how safe will be our money and what protection does Bangladesh Bank give? So these are points that needs to be thought out, needs to be addressed. And obviously we have the FinTech Forum here, which can perhaps have a separate session with our the small and medium enterprises to educate them as to how we can take this forward. Another another comment that has come from the floor was in relation to the charges. They said that, okay, fine, we are very happy that the fintech will give us more efficiency in terms of our accounts management, but it is expensive for us. 2% of every transaction is quite expensive for us. And then I looked down, why is this 2%? What charges comprise of this 2%? Then I was told by someone that there's 3 layers of tax, one by the mobile telecommunication provider, one by BTRC, and then one by the payment gateway. So perhaps the government can think as to, in order to promote this industry, or in order to promote this fintech tool, whether it is time to reduce the source tax at these levels so that the commission or the charges that these MFS providers charge, they can be reduced as well, at least for the CMSMEs. Another point that came up was that we only transact with MFS's system over the weekends when banks are closed. And most of our transactions happen during the weekend. So a lot of money is being paid through charges and commission. And perhaps this is something that every one of us can think about if we want to promote this industry and or this tool and take it forward. Way forward, I think there's many ways forward, but I'll just address 3 or 4, which is we need to, like I said, we need to organize more awareness training for fintech adoption. And that needs to be addressed with the small and medium enterprises, again, I repeat, who are the lifeline of our economy. We have to enhance our digital and telecom infrastructure for strengthening the fintech ecosystem, move out of Bangladesh and go to the rural parts of Bangladesh, move out of Dhaka and go to the rural parts of Bangladesh. We need to, maybe Bangladesh Bank can help if there's a low cost and easily accessible technology fund to enable the small and medium enterprises, and especially the cottage and micro ones, to adopt technology. As we are set to graduate in 2026, we all know that many of us will lose certain preferential treatments, and it is very important that all these small and medium enterprises are duly equipped with technology so that they can conduct their businesses efficiently and adopt a very low-cost model. Because as we all know that we are already going through a tough time due to the current economic crisis. The cost of doing business have gone up significantly with power, energy, everything going up. The only way we can offset this is if we can somehow reduce the cost of our doing business locally through adoption of technology. Last 2 points. Perhaps the government can consider providing incentives like tax reduction waiver for CMSMEs to increase their investment and to integrate into a more digital structure. Because if more CMSMEs come forward out of this informal sector and goes into the formal sector, I think it's a win-win situation for all, because as we know that we see a lot of small enterprises across the streets which has no formal database. So if we don't have a formal database, the revenue that has been set, the revenue target that has been set by the government will be very difficult to achieve, because unless we can bring them into this formal bracket, then it will be very difficult for government to go and find out and from whom they can collect the revenue or the due taxes. So it's a win-win for all. I think even for the CMSMEs, even the small medium enterprises, they would also like to come forward, because if they can adopt digital transactions, then there is less discretion for the tax collector, and there's less discretion for the taxpayer. And the issue of harassment that we always keep on hearing about, that can also be significantly reduced. Lastly, we need to design a roadmap to attract more FDI in the fintech ecosystem, as well as the high-tech parks. I think that is very, very important, especially in relation to the transfer of technology, the know-how. At least at this initial stage, when we are trying to push for fintech to go forward with a vision to implement our Smart Bangladesh as envisaged by Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, I think due and adequate roadmap needs to be designed ASAP to attract foreign direct investment into Bangladesh in this area. I'm already 5 minutes over my time. Thank you very much, and I wish this forum and this seminar great success, and I hope I've been able to contribute a little bit with my limited knowledge. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. Allah Hafiz.